Welcome. Yeah, it's something I've noticed for a while now, but there's been a couple of guys come on my site, not too many obviously, because it's not very, it's only newish, but the other sites I've gone on, MGTOW sites and some other sites online there, and I noticed there's quite a lot of angry young men and they're quite bitter. I don't think they're angry or bitter, but you can tell by the way they're writing that they are, right? Which is a shame. You don't want to be angry and bitter about the whole thing, right? All you got to do is just be aware, right? Be aware. And, you don't have to not have women company. What's wrong with that? You can have women company. They're different. They're like going with the guys. Say you go with the guys out in the evening, right? And you have all this camaraderie and you have a laugh and a joke and that. And by the way, women look over at you and they really don't like that because they don't have that. Women don't have that camaraderie sort of thing. Because all women would do would be all gabby, gossip and everything else. And when one of them went to the toilet, the other ones would backstab her. That's the way women are. Men get on, have a laugh, have a joke, and it really irritates them that the men can do that. But yeah, so you say, for instance, you go to the bar, you have all this thing with the lads and everything else, and it's a good night out, great. You have quite a few drinks or whatever. But then you go out with a woman, right, and to a bar or whatever, maybe even the same bar. But the whole evening is completely different, right? And that's good. It's a good change. Don't expect though, in-depth conversation, because women don't do really in-depth conversations much. They're more superficial creatures, right? And it always reminds me of the Blade Runner, the old Blade Runner. I always remember when Decker went into this place and there was a guy there and he said there was a woman there and he said to the guy, "Furniture?" He went, "Yep." Like that's what sort of women are like, guys, right? You got something to do, you're heading somewhere, and you want to do something and everything else. Carry on doing it, but you can have a slight detour with a woman, and then go back onto your track. That's fine. They're just only a slight detour things, really, right? Okay, remember that, and then you get back on track, okay? But they are sometimes they're quite fun and quite different. You men with what? Okay, the other thing is that, it's very difficult, like say for young men growing up now, as I said before. I mean, most of the young men have come from one parent family now, which is very common, and mostly it's the woman. And so the woman has no tools at her disposal to teach him how to be a man. And years ago, there was always one-parent families, and boys used to go out and meet their friends and everything else, and they were taught how to be a male or whatever by them, and watching and seeing and going to school and watching their friends, and that's how they learned how to be a man, even though they had a one-parent family that was a mother, it was a female. And so it worked fine. But nowadays, at school, you get chastised for just showing any masculinity. Some people get detention for being, acting in a masculine way or whatever. I mean, that is absolutely god-awful. So no wonder when they get older, they're scared to show their masculinity. And, of course, because they're not feeling right and they're not acting the way they think they should, it's all wrong, they have problems. So, yeah, that's difficult, very difficult. And here's something else that really annoys me, and that is designer beards. Really, guys? Designer beards? Really? Where did they come from, you reckon? Well, I reckon they came from the gay men. The gay men would do the designer beards, I think, because they're more into superficial stuff like that. I mean, why would you have a beard? Why would a guy have a beard? He has a beard so he doesn't have to goddamn shave every day, right? So if you're going to have a designer beard, you've got to touch it up every day. So what are you saving there? I mean, I remember in Canada, just before deer hunting season, a couple of months or a month before deer hunting season, we all used to grow beards, because the beard, it was cold when you were standing on a runway, and the beard used to keep you warm. We didn't used to trim it up or anything. Jesus Christ. I mean, come on, guys. Are you just as superficial as women are? I hope not. And the other thing is keeping yourself fit, right? Men nowadays are obsessed with keeping themselves fit, right? They always have this gym membership, right? Whether they use it or not, obviously. Why would you need to have a gym membership when you're 23 years old? There's no reason for you to be unfit, is there, really? You can go for walks, you can go for runs, you can do anything. You don't need a membership. The trouble is that it's trendy to have a gym membership, right? Very trendy. So yeah, stop being so superficial, guys. Really, be more deep. Men were always deep, women were always shallow, right? Remember, ice, you got ice on the lake, right? But it's no good if it's too thin to walk on. So superficial, you go straight through, right? So show some substance, men. Be deep. Thank you for listening.